Welcome back to Everlasting Summer. This is my second recording session, so episode 4. I just released episode 1 like yesterday, so yeah, whatever. I was having a dream. It seemed like I was in some kind of vacuum, with nothing... Oh, get the mouse off the screen. With nothing but nothing around me. But not only around, I was the only creature in the universe. As if the universe had returned to some state of singularity right before the Big Bang, and something was just about to happen. Suddenly I heard a voice. I could not make out the words, but it sounded familiar. The voice was whispering something gently, as if lulling. And then I realized. It was the voice of that stranger girl from the bus. The girl from the dream. But what is she trying to tell me? Who is she? I woke up. Ding! Bright sunlight was hitting my eyes. Oh, I gotta turn down my... It's actually kind of loud. It was almost noon. After stretching lazily on the bed and yawning, I started to recall the previous day. 1 second. Just gonna make sure that's turned down for recording. In a few seconds, all those events passed before my eyes. The bus, the camp, the local inhabitants. No, that's just wrong. Not this whole situation, not me being here. It was wrong by default. My attitude towards what was happening was wrong. Because yesterday I fell asleep here just like that, and before it, I chatted nicely with the local pioneers. I even managed to come up with jokes. How could I be like that in such a situation? I should be frightened, startled by every little rustling, should avoid all contact with the potentially hostile creatures. The last day's events were getting hazy, like I had a hangover. This really feels like a morning after a heavy drinking party. Yesterday's natural, flawless, absolutely normal conduct becomes a nightmare in the morning, a grotesque illustration to the divine comedy. Yes, it's just like that, and I can't change the past now. Then again, I'd probably assess the situation and was acting accordingly. I glanced around, trying to figure out if I had not been thrown somewhere else, but Olga's cabin looked the same as yesterday. Everything seemed to be in its place, except for a set of pioneer uniform, which was hanging from the bedhead. I fumbled with it in distrust and tried it afterwards. Anyway, this is better than walking around in winter clothes. Wish I could see myself, but I look like a clown. And for that, I needed a mirror. There's a mirror. At least a tiny one. And it was finally found on the wardrobe door. Holy! I was looking at the newfound pioneer and jumped away in surprise. There was some teenager on the other side of the mirror. He resembled me, but he wasn't me. Where did the weak stubble go? Where did the bags under my eyes, the slouch, that deathly fatigue in my face? It seemed that I had not been thrown back in time, or into a parallel reality, but instead simply changed bodies with someone else. Right, that's real simple. Such things happen every day. I took a closer look at the stranger, and only then I realized that it actually was me. It just wasn't today's me, maybe the one from between school and university years. Well, at least that's something. There you go, the person in extreme situation did fail to notice the elephant in the room. But the camp leader noticed it, and last night she told me off for addressing her without proper respect. Oh yeah. Ah, screw that. Doubt my appearance affects anything else. If the clock was not lying, the breakfast was long over. Oh well, I'll try to find something in the canteen. Worked out well yesterday with Slavia, didn't it? These memories made me smile involuntarily. The sun was shining brightly outside. Light breeze was blowing. A beautiful summer day. I had not felt so good in the morning for years. For a few years. Oh, the music's done. I'm going to turn it back up. There. All problems were gone, vanished into the clouds that were white as snow. Olga came out of nowhere. She had a hat on. Good morning, Semyon. Morning. I smiled, doing my best to show that, no matter what, my morning was indeed good. You only arrived yesterday, so I decided not to wake you up, but the breakfast... Never mind. Here, take this. She handed me something wrapped in paper. Judging by the oily stains, there had to be sandwiches inside. Oh, thank you. Now go wash yourself. Or, now go wash yourself. I don't know. I can't be stern and do that voice at the same time. I was about to leave. Wait a second. Olga quickly ran into the house and came out to shove a small bag into my hands. Inside it I found a toothbrush, soap, a small towel, and something else. I did not look too closely. A pioneer should always be clean and tidy. Let me do your neckerchief for you properly for the first time. Yours is dangling. You should do it yourself once you learn how to. Well, duh. Do we have to? I'm gonna go wash myself now. Yeah, right. I could hook onto the tap and... It could hook onto the tap and strangle me. Mine, later then. And don't forget about the lineup. Pencils, paper, and drawing lines. You don't forget such things. What lineup? What do you mean, what lineup? She frowned. It's Monday today. Weird. My approximations were telling me it's Sunday. Indeed. Very well. Then again, a shift in the day of the week is not the worst thing. Usually we have lineups early in the morning before breakfast, but it's Monday today, so we were having it at 12 o'clock. Don't be late. Alright, but where? At the square. Where else? Yeah, obviously. There were no reasons to arguing. I headed to the bathing place. I knew I could forget about the separate showers and toilet, but at the sight of this malfunctioning, decaying socialism, funny turtle with a tin shell, paws, taps, and ceramic belly, I felt sick. Seriously with all the music. There. Just make sure it's down a little bit. I was not a squeamish person, but nevertheless, standing there, I realized that there was still some minimal level of habitual comfort, which I found troublesome to do without. Is it because anybody could walk over and see? No. I don't know how this is supposed to work out as a showering, bathing place. Whatever. It's often like that. When you lose things that you thought were ordinary and common, you suddenly understand just how essential they were. Ah, screw this. As if I had any choice. The water was ice cold. While washing my hands was not an issue, washing my face and my mouth became a big problem. There's no toothpaste in the bag, which Olga gave me. I could brush my teeth without it, but there was a small round box wrapped into the towel. Tooth powder. Cute. 1 point for me being somewhere in the past. You looking like a teen suddenly isn't somewhere in the past as well? I'll wash myself quite quickly, also due to the ice cold water. Someone was coming quickly, and more like running towards me. Don't sneeze, don't sneeze, don't sneeze. I turned around. It was Slavia, dressed in a tracksuit. This girl would probably look good in anything. Pioneer uniform, bikini, and probably even a spacesuit. Hey there! Ohio, I mean, was, good morning. Yeah. Smooth. Oh yeah, real smooth. My thoughts exactly. Why didn't you come for breakfast? I overslept. I said as if I was proud of it. I overslept. But Olga gave me some sandwiches. Oh great then, don't forget about the lineup. Yeah, sure. As if I could forget. Right, gotta run. Enjoy yourself. She waved me goodbye and disappeared beyond the path's turn. Looks like it's a couple of minutes till the lineup. I should... How do you have a watch? I should quickly pass by my home to drop my washing bag and eat the sandwiches, and then head to the square. I swung open the door of the camp leader's cabin and rushed inside, as if jumping into the last car of a departing train. Uh-oh. It didn't turn out to be the best idea, because inside I found Olga, who was changing. I froze on the spot, trying not to breathe. Finally, the camp leader noticed me. Semyon! I looked away immediately. Heard about knocking? No, get out! Ooh, yeah, that was real clumsy. Although I did like the sight. Olga followed me out in a minute. Here, take this. Now it is your home too. She handed me a key. I put it in my pocket. Home. Of course, if you disregard how phantasmagoric the current events were, this camp was far from being the worst place on Earth. But to call it home? Just after one day spent here. I doubt I'll ever be able to. Alright, let's go. We're late. But what about the sandwiches? Just eat it on the way. We were passing along the lines of pioneers' cabins while I was tucking away the ham sandwiches, and Olga kept on talking and talking. She was buzzing like a game of Operation with Parkinson's. I cared about nothing but the food. Understood? Huh? You weren't listening. Not a Sorry. Today is the first day of your new life as a pioneer. I need you to do your best so that it becomes a happy life. Yeah, definitely. I'm serious. A pioneer has many duties. Great responsibility is conferred to him. To participate in social work, to help the juniors, to study, and to study again. So much damn studying. We are all here like one big family. And you will become part of it. Yeah, a part. I'd even sign a party membership card if it could save me from listening to this nonsense. I hope that after your term here is over, you'll keep the most pleasant memories about our camp. Memories that will last your whole life. And when will this term end? Why do you keep asking silly things? It seems I won't get any information from her. A shame, really. This world appears to be so friendly, but it never bothered to introduce itself to me. Perhaps now I take things somewhat easier than yesterday. Seems like we have some unspoken ceasefire with it. It isn't trying to hurt me, but I'm forbidden from asking questions. Of course, this situation isn't a pleasant one, but what can I do about it? A bad peace is better than a good dispute. The most important thing for you now is to make the best of the time you will spend here. I'll do my best. Honestly, I was very tired from this conversation. It would be good to know where is that here. But we came to the square. Pioneers already lined up. What? Somebody's not here yet. Nope, all here. She looked around her brave pioneer troops. Alright, go stand somewhere. Weird. Why did she tell me there's no more sleeping places? While the chief was running her mouth about her plans for the week, I stared at the people. These two? ADD. Get distracted by a fly. A few heads away from the schools from me stood Electronic. A little further, Lena and Slavia. In the end of the line, Eliana and Elisa. Wait. Elisa. Slavia. Lena. Wait. I don't know you. I don't think. I'm just... Stop concerning myself with this. Everyone I met was here. Olga spoke about some competitions, and I turned my attention to the monument. Genda. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Cannot remember any revolutionary with a similar name. He had a weird posture too, as if he looks around with distrust, maybe contempt, or even disdain. Probably some local leader. Daydreaming again? Slavia brought me back to reality. Olga stood nearby. Still remember the plan for the week? The plan? The plan I will never forget. Perfect. She looked at Slavia. Did you get it? Yes. Slavia handed me a piece of paper. It's a checklist. Here are 4 positions to check. Do it all today. Before you start, sign up for a club. There are some clubs in the clubhouse, and a musical club in a separate building. Then, visit the infirmary. And finally, visit the library. Got it? Yes. Checklist seemed like a good chance of finding out something, since I had to go to places I haven't been before. Then come on, start right now. Well, what about lunch? Don't worry, I'll bring you more sandwiches. Checklist is more important. Good luck. They went away fast enough for me to not ask anything else. Missed breakfast, now I'll miss lunch too. You had breakfast on the way here. You had lunch on the way here. This ain't good. Maybe I'll manage it in time somehow. Lunch starts at 1 p.m. Then again, if I'll go there, I might miss a place on the checklist. Okay, it's too early to go to the canteen anyway. Do I get to choose? So is this Slavia? So there's a number 12. I think. I don't know. Let's check out the library. I can't remember where I was supposed to go to first. Actually, I love reading, but spending my days in a library under current circumstances was well beyond my scope. So I better hurry up with this checkpoint. As I stepped inside, a memory from my childhood emerged in my head. It was very vivid. I'm 7 or 8 years old. We're in the library with my mother. While she's looking through the books I might need for my studies, I'm sitting in the corner and looking through their collection of comic books. Back then I didn't know why they had so many, and why couldn't I take some with me. A notion of collective property was something my mind hadn't grasped at that age yet. However, back then the whole concept of property was pretty hazy to me. This memory seemed even stranger now while I was standing in this particular camp where they might have managed to build communism in 3 years. Soviet symbolics was all over the place. Shelves were full of related literature. Of course, I wasn't planning to read any of these. Getting acquainted with a full collection of books by Marx was the last thing on earth I would think of. Where is the librarian? I didn't spend too much time looking for her. I looked closely. Short hair, thick glasses, rather cute face. She was snoring so peacefully, I couldn't just wake her up. I can wait. If she won't wake up in half an hour, maybe then sit here for half an hour watching her sleep. I couldn't just sit there, so I took a random book from the nearest bookshelf. Arthur Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer? I don't know. The World as Will and Representation. I opened it roughly in the middle and started reading. The life of a man, with its endless upkeep, wants, and suffering, is to be regarded as the explanation and paraphrase of the Procreation Act, i.e., the absolute claim of the will to live, and furthermore, it is also the reason the man owes nature his death, and thinks with anxiety of his debt. Is this not the evidence that our existence involves guilt? At any rate, we always exist, from time to time paying with death for our birth. We always exist and alternately bear all the joy and sorrow of life, since neither both can pass us without some effect. That is the result of our stated will to live. Thus the fear of death, which, in spite of all the miseries of life holds us firmly to it. It is... Thus the fear of death, which in spite of all the miseries of life holds us firmly to it, is really elusive, but just as elusive as the impulse which has attracted us into it. This attraction itself may be seen objectively as the mutual longing glances of two lovers, but they are the purest expression of the will to live, and its affirmation, how gentle and tender it is. And wants happiness and quiet pleasure, with mild joys for itself, for others, for all. Someone knocked on the door. I closed the book quickly and put it back on its place. What a nice habit, to knock on the door. I should pick it up. It was Lena. Oh. Hi. I smiled. Hi, I just wanted to return a book. She had Gone with the Wind that I saw yesterday. Oh, Xenia is sleeping. I'll come back later. God, so many voices. Oh, I'm awake. I'm awake. I turned around in surprise to look at her. She eyed me closely from behind her table. What is it you wanted? I need you to check here. Give it here. She quickly signed the paper and gave it back to me. She had this look on her face that made me want to keep quiet. Lena came up to her to return her book. I thanked Xenia and walked out and went out. At least you can get an idea of how this whole area is. There's an actual shower place, though. Well, where did I go? Football's over here, okay. Let's go to the infirmary now. What's the point to visit the infirmary? To get to know where it is and introduce yourself in case anything happens? My health is fine. The fresh local air clearly did me some good. I felt fresher than usual. But I just have to visit it. I entered. Please, not another female voice. A common infirmary, like my school doctor's room. A middle-aged woman sat at the table. Obviously, she was a nurse. She gazed at me intently and estimatingly, while continuing to write something. "Well, hello, Pioneer," said the nurse without being distracted from her work. "Good afternoon, ma'am. I have something." "Sit down, please." I don't know, I'm giving her like half a male voice. She also has one blue eye and one red eye. Eerie. I looked around the room. On the couch. I sat down. "Strip down." "Whoa," she said, all of it with an even tone. "What for?" "To inspect and auscultate other health checks, you know." "By the way, my name is Violetta, but you can call me Viola." "Violetta, probably." She turned to me. "What are you sitting for? Strip down. You said to sit." "But I have no health issues. I've got this." I've got this. I nearly gave her the paper. Later. She took the stethoscope off her neck, and it seemed like she intended to dissect me with it. But then someone knocked on the door. The nurse answered unwillingly. "Come in." In a moment the door opened widely and electronic rushed inside. "Ooh. Hello, I fell during the football game. Nonsense, of course. I'm okay, but Olga..." There was a massive bruise under Electronic's eye. I doubt that this could be a football injury. "Sit down. I'll have a look," she said to him. "And you, pass me your checklist." The nurse quickly signed it and continued. "If something hurts, immediately come to me, Pioneer." So I just avoid the whole strip down part. Whatever. I decided not to answer and came out, closing the door behind me. The nurse is surely something else. Let's check out the clubhouse then. I went to the clubhouse. To tell the truth, I never really liked extracurricular activities. At school, I used to find any excuse to skip extra classes. At the university, I had no interest to participate in the student council. I was not interested in boxing, aero modeling, what is that, or sewing. So I came here just to check the box. Nobody was there. I found myself in something like a hut of a junior robot enthusiast, where there were wires and simple printed circuits scattered everywhere. Chips, and on the table proudly stood an oscillograph. Cool. I heard voices from another room, and then two pioneers appeared. "Oh, look at this. Dual graphics card setup. Yeah." Hey, Electronic, your eyes looking good now. One was Electronic. The other one, I didn't know. "Hi, Semyon. We've been expecting you." "We've been expecting you, see?" I think I was supposed to probably come here before I went to the infirmary, but oh well. It seems he knows everything about everyone. "Why were you expecting me?" "Well, of course, because you came to sign into our club of Cybernetics, didn't you?" Of course, Electronic is in Cybernetics. He didn't let me answer. "And this is Shirk. He's in charge here." "I assume there's only 2 of you in the club?" "Well, you can say that it's 3 now." Shirk came to me and assertively offered his hand. I never accepted anything. His face was somewhat familiar. Is it? Should we give him like the straight up nerdy voice? "Welcome to the club." Yep. Now, I'll show you around. Make yourself at home. Guys, I just wanted to... We're always welcoming new members. I'm gonna have fun with this voice. He said it in such a way that I suddenly got an anthem of Soviet Union playing in my head. It's amazing. I even remembered the words. In the first grade, I had a copybook with the text on the back. No, I just wanted to sign my checklist. Yep, you signed into the club, we'll sign your checklist. You little shit. He grinned. I was getting ready to a long and boring argument, but then I heard someone enter. I looked back and saw Slavia. Ah, Semyon, I hope they're not giving you any trouble. She narrowed her eyes, looking at the future of Motherland's robotic industry. I know these two. They can. Well, you know, actually, I just need to sign my checklist. I decided to take advantage of the situation. No problem. Give it to me. Slavia took the paper and stepped up to Shurik. Sign it. Hold on, we haven't done yet. Done. Sign it now. She gave Shurik a threatening look and made him lose every possibility of objection. He wrote some squiggles at the checklist, and I thanked Slavia, then moved on with a mellow mood. One more place to go to. See, I'm going to try and figure this out. I don't know this person. I think that's the camp counselor leader thing. I think that's Slavia. I don't know. I give up. Let's go to the musical club. The musical club, a small one-leveled building, was located some distance from the other camp's buildings. I opened the door and came in without hesitation. Have you heard of knocking? Should learn it. Take it up sometime. There were enough instruments for a whole orchestra here. The drums, the guitars, and even a piano. I spent some time looking closely at every instrument. Wanted to guess the time period they were from, but suddenly I heard a crawling sound coming from underneath the piano. A girl. Seems like she was looking for something. It's gonna be one of these games, isn't it? She was standing on all fours in a suggestive pose that I hesitated to talk at first. Excuse me? Ah, who's there? Ooh. She tried to stand up, but the piano's bottom prevented her from doing that. Ouch! She struggled out. Sorry, I scared you. This is why you knock. It's nothing. Oh, you got a checklist. You must be new here. Yes. My name is Miku. No, really, I'm serious. Nobody believes me. It's my real name. My mother is Japanese. My dad met her when he was building. Well, it wasn't him who was building. He's an engineer. And he was working on a nuclear power plant there. Or a dam, or a bridge, whatever. She was talking so fast, she just swallowed half the words she tried to pronounce. Oh, talks fast like me, perfect. I'm Semyon. Great, want to be in our club? It's only me here now, but it will be the two of us then. Do you play anything? That's when it became antisocial that I bought a guitar and learned a few chords. But then I forgot about it, as I quitted everything that required more than a couple of hours to learn. You know, I wasn't planning to do anything like that, really. Oh, it's okay, I'll teach you. Maybe a trumpet, for example. How about a violin? I know it all, honestly. There was no point in arguing with an orchestra girl, since there was only another cascade of words waiting to blast at me. Hey, I'll think about it. Can you just sign it for now? Yes, sure. Give it to me. Be sure to come around. I sing too. I'll sing you some Japanese folk songs, or maybe if you're not into that, something more contemporary. Oh man, I'm even having a hard time talking this fast. Sure. Thanks. Gotta go now. Of course. Come anytime. The ending of her sentence stayed inside. It may be nice to hang around with a guitar in the evening, but in such a company. I turned to leave and ran face to face with Elisa. She eyed me suspiciously. Why you came? The checklist? Signed it? Yes. Then move it. Bitch. Elisa went inside, and I hurried to leave the place. But we're gonna leave that here for this episode. Hope you're all enjoying it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.